Welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Justine Pretorius, and I am the Digital Marketing Manager at Meet Green. Today I have with me Event Manager Sophie Lee and Eric Wallinger, the Director of Sustainability at Meet Green. Sophie and Eric worked together on the 2019 Unitarian Universalist General Assembly at the Spokane Convention Center and are here today to discuss collaboration and sustainable event planning. Sophie and Eric, can you tell us a little more about the event you worked on together and your role in it?
Yes, indeed. The Unitarian Universalist General Assembly is historically one of the greenest events in our industry. It has one of the most detailed and longest running bodies of sustainability data among any convention center and event. UUA is a faith-based organization, so support of sustainability falls under what's called the seventh principle. And this is the respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we're all a part. And by having this foundational principle such an authentic part of their vision, I feel like sustainability planning is somewhat contagious throughout the process. It's a very long event. It runs for a full week, and for 5 of those days, it's 3 meals a day, programming from first thing in the morning till later at night. I served as Sustainability Project Manager for the 2019 General Assembly and helped facilitate that sustainable event planning between the UUA event teams and the Convention Center, hotels, and the Visitors Bureau in Spokane. And that's how I met Sophie.
Thanks to both of you for meeting today. I'm excited to discuss this event with you. At the time, I was an event manager in Spokane at the Convention Center. And my role as the event manager was to act as the liaison between the client and the facilities, which in this case involved working with Eric in order to achieve the sustainability goals for UUA. The Convention Center signed a sustainability addendum, where we agreed to uphold many high-level sustainability-related objectives. This addendum included everything from the recycled material content in our products to sourcing local and regional foods for buffets for thousands of people. And I was working with all of the departments within the Convention Center, including catering, operations, engineers, AV, everyone, to ensure that each department met their goals. The Unitarian Universalist General Assembly with its sustainability goals was really unlike any other event I managed during my time at the Convention Center.
Well, it sounds very complicated and detailed. I'm wondering, what are some of the roadblocks or challenges that you were facing with your respective teams?
Well, this is my first time executing an event with sustainability goals of this caliber. So I had to learn a lot and really deep dive into the expectations in order to convey those to all of the teams at the Convention Center. And from the venue side, we had a really awesome team whose biggest concern was being able to meet the expectations set by the clients and by Eric. A large part of my role was explaining and conveying why we were doing what we were and reminding the team of our goals throughout the entire process, which was over a year in planning. The event work order that I created for our team that gets used before, during, and after the event was over 100 pages long. And as with most venues, the Convention Center faces time restraints. We were hosting other events immediately before and directly after UUA, so I had to explain to my team why we needed to change our standard operating procedures for this event, and that was really key to driving buy-in from the employees. So for me, it was very fulfilling to see the departments and contractors working together seamlessly in a way I had not seen before. And it really brought about a sense of camaraderie between the Convention Center, teams within the Convention Center, the CVB, Eric's team with Meet Green, and the client UUA.
I totally can relate and feel the same way. It's that buy-in piece that is such a roadblock. It seems like with almost every sustainable event, that's one of the pieces. And so we felt that in Spokane as well. We're asking these people, very busy people, to do more and more, and it requires operating differently. Some other challenges we ran into is sort of learning when you have zero waste goals and high diversion goals, what recycling commodities are accepted in the region, what compostable material will fit the local infrastructure. I remember we were considering driving glass to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho after the event. So there's a strategy around all this, looking at receptacles and signage, even measuring data, which seems like it would be sort of simple, but in Spokane, as in some other areas, they're billed by the pull rather than by the weight. And so we had to develop a method around that, and we used a PET scale. So these are some of the kind of challenges also that are unique to each event, is understanding what's in that local infrastructure.
What were some of the actions you took to help address these areas, and how were you able to overcome resistance, buy-in, or logistics?
Clear communication on expectations was absolutely critical. Helping the team understand the reason behind what we were doing made everyone that much more willing to put in the extra effort to exceed the expectations. We held many internal meetings leading up to the event, including one specifically where each person in each department involved was included, which is, virtually the entire convention center staff. And during that meeting, we explained the background of the event and the why of what we were working to achieve. We talked about the 7th principle that Eric discussed. Every detail was incredibly important. The convention center teams wanted to exceed the expectations. So my role was really helping them understand what success looked like.
I also think UUA embedding sustainability at the site selection level and in their contracting helped kind of drive this along as well. Having that verbiage from the onset helped us not feel like we were just sort of throwing this on at the end, but it was something that was part of what success looked like right from the outset. Being included in the site visit and making this site visit contain a strong sustainability dimension also helped set that tone, help people understand why. It also allowed Sophie and I and her team to really kind of meet at a deeper level around some of this, because when we're talking about coming in and doing things very differently, transforming the operations, it really does require more than just a video call with a stranger. And so walking around with those key teams like directors of show cleaning, operations, engineering, food and beverage, all were really important. And lastly, getting that support and rolling that support from the local CVB, the Spokane Convention and Visitors Bureau, was essential. By them endorsing these efforts, I think it really put yet another stamp of approval and kind of rallying of stakeholders. They actually helped set up a call 2 months out, which again sort of gave us another push that this was a destination-wide endeavor.
Well, it sounds like communication and building relationships were key. What were some of the results that were achieved from all your efforts?
I feel like this affirmed what Spokane as a destination is capable of in terms of sustainability. We were able to prove with concrete results that we excelled in this scope, and that has the opportunity to really set Spokane apart from the crowd as a fantastic destination. And I'm really proud of Spokane as a destination because of that. The Convention Center also used what we learned from UUA as a blueprint for an event that was held in the fall of 2019 that also had a high sustainability expectations. So after the experience of UUA and executing this event, the Convention Center was able to execute efficiently events of this nature again and again.
This event was delivered some of the most exciting results of my sustainability career. From a numbers side, the donation of over 1,200 pounds of food. It was our first UUA event over the 15 years we've been tracking this that was 100% powered by renewable energy. And that was not standard practice in many of the venues. So that was a big win. We also achieved a 92% diversion rate from landfill, which qualified the event as a zero waste event, which is very challenging to do when you're measuring over a week. It also registered the smallest carbon footprint in the event's history, and this was helped by our renewable energy sourcing. Also, just working closely with the hotels and the destination of Spokane, This event helped catalyze the purchase of 1,300 in-room recycling bins by the Davenport Hotel Group, which serve 2 of our hotels. And those are in those rooms as we speak. And lastly, one other really significant result of this event is that Sophie now works at Meet Green 1 year later. When we met on site, she let me know that she'd be doing some traveling after the event. Would be getting back to events later in the year. And it turns out that that's now at Meet Green. So another pretty amazing outcome of sustainable event collaboration.
Lucky for us, right? So, what are some final thoughts around a collaboration and sustainable events you would like to share with us?
Well, I'm thrilled to be a part of the Meet Green team and around collaboration and sustainability. Collaboration is key, not just in sustainable events, but in everything we do. Bringing people together in order to convene, to network, to collaborate is vital to progress and growth in economics and education, government, associations, religious and social causes. But we need to continue to push for the most sustainable way of doing so for the planet and all of her people. Events and bringing people together will always have a place in our lives. So we need to do so in a way that is not harming the planet. And no one can do that on their own. So to achieve that, collaboration is truly essential.
I totally agree. And to me, UUA 2019 in Spokane really is a special example of how powerful sustainable events can be. Top tier, outstanding results, benefiting the planet and our communities, and having fun along the way. And this all being made possible by collaboration. So final words of wisdom from me would be remembering to start early, rallying and inspiring your stakeholders and building those key alliances on the way. And without a doubt, the next most important thing is getting started greening.
Thank you both for sharing your expertise and your experiences.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.